Thank you, Chairman. Secretary, thank you for being here. During the governor's budget address, he looked straight at the Republicans and said, just because you say it doesn't make it true. He was saying that in relation to our concerns over the debt that we have seen for years on the horizon, and talking about what kind of significant tax increases it's going to take, or draconian cuts, if we stay on this track. Article 8, Section 12 of the Pennsylvania Constitution requires the governor to provide a financial plan for not less than the next succeeding 5 years in the fiscal years, which plan shall include in each fiscal year projected expenditures for capital projects specifically itemized by purpose and the proposed sources of financing. Every year since I've been on this committee, we have asked for those projections. Every year we get excuses about why those projections cannot be provided. And every year in the governor's outlying years, we get zero or minimal increases in the expenses, even though there are contracts that have compounding increases in those. Yet, the IFO and our Senate Republican Appropriations Committee have given us projections that pretty much fall in line with where your department and every other department have come. We've been pretty close to the mark. But every year we are failing to see from the governor and from your departments those projections. Can you give us an update and a change to the report that shows us actually what the projections are? Because we've been pretty much on the mark, and it is going to cause draconian cuts or significant increases in taxes. How do we address that if you're not giving us the numbers?
So, Senator, I think that the gist of your question is really best addressed by the Budget Secretary. We follow
Do you not provide him with the information?
That we are required to do in the ways that we present the budget, and this is the way we've been presenting these budgets now for years.
And I'm frustrated every year because the requirement is your department has to submit the information to the budget office so the budget office can actually give us those projections. Mm-hmm. Why is that? Where's the fault line?
You know, I think, Senator, right now in particular for our department, as you heard earlier, there are a lot of moving parts right now.
And you've said that for 4 years now. But our projections and the IFOs are pretty accurate, but yours have not. They've been dramatically different.
Well, sir, I think that, again, the way the budget is presented is a question for the Budget Secretary.
Do you not provide them with the outlying years? Do you give them projections for the outlying years? And if you did, I would like to see them.
That's a question for the Budget Secretary.
Well, can you give us the projections that you've given us, or given the Budget Office?
You have our projections as best we have them, with the great deal of uncertainty that we're faced with right now. We have assumed reductions in the Medicaid program due to increasing the minimum wage.
Well,
we didn't
right.
duplicate that by assuming others.
Secretary, I get that, but I'm not going to have you eat up my time on that. When I find it unacceptable, the Constitution requires you to do this, and it's not being done. And I say that for all the departments. It's not just your own. Madam Secretary, in reviewing the transcript from your budget briefing to stakeholders, you talk about H.R. 1 stating that under this law, Medicaid financing rules will change how DHS will be able to draw federal matching funds beginning in 2028. I believe you stated those changes will remove $20 billion from the federal share of the Medicaid program over the following decade. I know the chairman has addressed this, but one part that I did not get any clarification. Those changes, are those financial responsibility going to be on the state, or are they going to be on the hospitals?
Well, it's a little bit of a complicated answer. Those changes will primarily be in the way or the amount of assessment that we are able to collect and then draw down federal matching funds. The assessments have different purposes. The MCO assessment in particular does go to help fund our Medicaid program. The hospital assessment actually largely is reinvested in hospitals to help with quality improvement programs and other priorities that they have and we have together to help improve the health of Pennsylvanians. And so if those funds are cut, then there will have to be corresponding cuts unless the General Assembly finds a way to backfill them, which of course, given the enormity of what we're talking about here, would be exceptionally difficult. And so we are continuing to look at every aspect of our program. We made some changes to our program this year once H.R. 1 passed and we saw some of the pressures that were going to be on our Medicaid budget. We were able to make some changes before the 2026 contracts were signed. Had the budget been on time, we potentially could have made even more contract cuts or changes to those contracts. We didn't have time by the time we got the final budget. But it is a very serious situation, Senator. I don't want to sugarcoat it.
I wouldn't want you to. If you wouldn't mind, I won't ask you to do anything here, but please, if you could forward us the plans and stuff that you have or a synopsis of those plans, I'd appreciate it.
Now, well, there's nothing done yet. We're working with stakeholders to think about that, but we can certainly share with you what we know about H.R. 1.
I understand they
Yeah.
could be contingency plans,
Yeah.
but I'd like to have a little bit of we would, I think, appreciate having a little bit of a heads up on what might be on the horizon.
Sure.